Today we will be talking about a guy named Colton Harris Moore. Colton Harris Moore is a very famous former American criminal. He is very smart because he actually stole lots of expensive things. And one of his biggest steals was when he stole 6 airplanes, which is very hard to do because almost no one in the world could ever steal 6 airplanes like Harris Moore. Let's get started. Colton Harris Moore was born in 1991, so he is about 32 years old right now, and he is still alive but in jail. He actually made a big movie made about him and a few books because of his very interesting story. This movie is actually called Fly Colt Fly. This movie was a very big movie and it was very popular during the time it was made too. This movie was based on how Colton Harris Moore actually stole the 6 airplanes. It was talking about his life and how this happened. And also when he stole all these very expensive things in a smart way. Colton Harris Moore was born in Mount Washington and grew up in his mother's house on Campiano Island. Their neighbors said they made several calls to cops because they thought he wasn't being treated good by his parents. His father, Gordon, was in prison while Moore was still a little kid. When Colton Harris Moore was 12 years old, his father walked into the woods after fighting at a family party. Then he was arrested and nobody heard from him again. His mother started thinking about him because his father had never came back and no one knew about him. And he had a stepfather, but his stepfather was gone when he was 7, so he had no father when he was older. His mother started to notice that he was acting very bad ever since both of his fathers were gone. He would never listen to the teachers at school and he got in trouble a lot. He even started many problems and even big fights. He started living in the wild when he was 7 and Colton would break into homes in the area, stealing blankets, food, and water before leaving into the forest for days. Their neighbors said they made several calls to cops because they thought he wasn't being treated good by his parents. His father, Gordon, was in prison while Moore was still a little kid. When Colton Harris Moore was 12 years old, his father walked into the woods after fighting at a family party. The first time when he got caught for stolen property came at age 12, and by the time he was 13, he had 3 more. When he went to the doctors to be checked out, he had been really sad and had a few disorders ever since both of his fathers were gone. Every time he got caught, he had to stay for a 10-day stay in community service. His mother once said, every time he had anything any good, everyone thought he stole it. What does that do to a kid? This is what his mom said. In 2003, some people had a camera in this house, and the police came to check it out, and he had to go to a kid jail because he stole lots of things. Now we will be talking about his life growing up. Colton Harris Moore, born March 22, 1991, is an American former criminal. He was charged with the steal of hundreds of thousands of dollars in place, including several small airplanes, boats, and multiple cars. And he also took very big airplanes that are used for people so they can go to different states or countries. He did all of this when he was just a teenager. This shows he is very smart because almost no teenager on the whole planet can steal boats, airplanes, or even cars that easily like Colton Harris Moore did. He flew to the Bahamas on July 4, 2010 in a plane that Colton Harris Moore stole from Indiana. He was found on July 6, 2010 by a U.S. court in Washington on charges of taking another stolen airplane in that state. Colton Harris Moore still is only 19, was arrested in the island, Bahamas on July 11, 2010 after police shot out the engine of the boat in which he was trying to take. He tried to take this boat, but the police actually shot the engine, so the boat stopped working, and then they arrested him when they found him and got him. On December 16, 2011, Moore was going to be in jail to more than 7 years in prison for taking lots of vehicles such as boats, airplanes, and many others to 3 different countries. On January 27, 2012, he was sentenced to 6.5 years for doing the same crimes again. He got arrested and found so many times that he got so many years to be in jail. They wanted to find him after he escaped again, so they set a $10,000 reward for whoever helped find Colton Harris Moore, and a few people actually helped with the bounty. So they all split the money because they had helped find him to put him back in jail. Colton Harris Moore had to go to jail for more than 7 times, and each time was for a few years. So now he is still in jail, and he is 32 years old now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video about Colton Harris Moore, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bells so you can see when we upload a new video. Bye!